So in this lecture, we are going to start with this topic of traffic engineering studies. Now, what we have seen till now that there are a lot of parameters related to traffic stream, what all goes inside it. You have a lot of vehicles, pedestrians, cycle moving, and trucks are moving, and you have seen the characteristics of all of them also. What are the human characteristics or road user characteristics, and the vehicles as well. Now the question is how you will actually come to know that what are the characteristics or what is the flow of your stream, or what is the density of your stream, or what is the speed of your stream. So for that, obviously, you will need to do some surveys, or you need to do some studies, and those are enlisted over here, and we'll discuss each of them in detail. Not in much detail, but I'll give you a brief overview, and I'll leave the extra reading, all the allied reading up to you. Okay? And I'll try to explain them with some examples. Obviously, I'll take a few examples from the case study itself that we have been discussing or using for quite a large number of lectures till now. That is the Satna Shankargarh road of MP-UP border. So I'll take the help of that project itself. So traffic engineering studies or surveys, you can say, one and the same. It broadly includes the 7 type of studies. Okay? Traffic volume, origin and destination, that is also known as the OD survey. Then spot speed and delay, pedestrian study, parking, and accident studies. Okay? And then within that also you might have 1 or 2 surveys within those studies itself. Like in traffic volume study, you have some 2 to 3 types of surveys that you can have. Okay? So, but in broad way, you can classify it into the 7 types. So let's move on to the first one, the traffic volume study. Now, how I have tried to showcase these studies is not just point wise, but I have divided each study in 3 questions. That what is that, or why we do this study, then how we do this study, and what is the use. So these 3 questions, if you ask, you will get the 3 answers, and then you will understand that what actually we do in this type of traffic study. So the first question in this traffic volume study is why we do it. So traffic volume, always answer will be, we need to find out that volume or number of vehicles. So the answer is to find the classified traffic volume. Now the word classified is mentioned here. Classified as in, I have said this before also, that we don't have any road in the world where you have only a single type of vehicle which is using that road. Okay? There might be some roads in the Western countries where you have strictly only 4-wheelers or only trucks, but we'll keep that as a 1%. But 99% of the roads in the world, they have number of vehicles which are running on them, and then you need to find out the number of vehicles. We know that traffic flow is nothing but number of vehicles passing a given point in a given time interval. So we have to do that exact same thing, but now we have to classify them as well while counting. So what I mean is, you need to, if I tell you to do a survey of any road near you, so you will not only count the number of vehicles, you will count specifically how much is the number of 2-wheelers, how much is the number of cars, how much is the count of buses, trucks, and whatever are the categories. Okay? And that you will do either for a hour or a day or a week or a month or a year. So we have seen this when we were discussing the AADT and ADT, that is average annual daily traffic and average daily traffic. So there we had seen that you can do the traffic survey for a year also, 365 days, 24 hours, or you can cut it down to a month or a season or a week or a day, or even minimum 3 hours of survey. Okay? So this is why we do traffic volume study. Then how we do it? So we can do it by these 3 methods. Either you do it by manual count as in you deploy people, or you yourself stand at the roadside, and then you have a pen and paper in your hand, and you have a proper format with you, and then you go on counting your vehicles by just the tally marks, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are known as tally marks. So this is the most primitive and most widely used method, because if we say from the resource point of view, so you in India we have a lot of manpower, so you can deploy a very cheap manpower, that just 200 rupees or 300 rupees per day you can hire a labor who is able to read and write, okay, fairly, not very high-fi English, but he can deal with numbers. Okay, so you can deploy those people and then you can do this survey manual count. But obviously the disadvantage is the error. So many of the times you are not able to control, if it's a 24-hour survey, so you are not able to control the whole 24 hours. Maybe you'll do a frequent check during the daytime, but at night time, especially 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the midnight or early morning, so at that time it's very difficult to keep a check on this. So if you are allotted this task of doing the traffic volume studies, or we also say this classified traffic volume as CTVC, that is classified traffic volume count. So if you are in charge of this and you are supposed to do a 24-hour survey, then it tests your skills and also develops your skill, that how you will ensure that there is least error. Okay, so this should be your motto while doing a manual count, that the error should be minimum. Okay. So again, I was fortunate enough that I was in charge for the traffic studies for that case study that we are discussing, the Satna Shankargarh road. So there were 2 roads, and on both the roads I had deployed people for doing traffic survey for 7 days continuous and for 24 hours. So for 7 days, 24 hours, I was on the run on all the 2 roads. And as I told you, it's difficult to ensure the correctness of the survey during the night time especially. So I had to do a frequent checks in between at 2 a.m. in the midnight or 4 a.m. in the morning. So I was 24 hours awake, and then whenever I was thought that okay, let's do a random check. So whenever you do a random check, then okay, if you do a random check once or twice, not every day, then too it's okay, because if you do it even at once and you catch the workers sitting idle and not counting the traffic, so they will come to know that okay, they are not just paying us, but they are also keeping a check. So they themselves, they ensure that there is no such kind of malfunctioning in the system. But all said and done, that is a very crude method and very hectic method, okay, for any designer or any surveyor. So what we can do is this videography survey. Now in videography survey, again, as I told you, that what you do is you just install a camera at a particular location, maybe at some height, and then you record for whatever duration you want the count, maybe 1 day or 2 days, 3 days or 1 week or even a month or even a year. So you record it and then you come back to the office and then you go on segregating the video. Now again, in this case, the error factor is controlled because you are recording everything, so no vehicle will skip. But in this case, what happens is the analysis is tedious, okay, because you have to sit in, you have to make people sit. Again, the human factors come into picture, that you have to make the people sit and then they will watch the video and they will go on counting. So counting again, it will done like this only, the manual way. But now they don't have the running vehicles in front of them. They can watch that video at their own pace. They can slow down the video and then they can count. So the error factor is controlled, but again the work factor is still the same. So again, there are softwares nowadays to analyze this video graphic surveys as well. So one of the softwares that you can use is called Tracer. Okay. This we had used during our MTech projects. So this is a software in which what you do is basically it's an application, desktop based or laptop based, You just feed in the video, and the software is coded in such a way that there are standards. Suppose I'm using Tracer for Indian condition. So in India, in general, what is the average dimension of the vehicles? So that are coded into it. So what is the dimension of average dimension of car, buses, two-wheelers, okay, all sort of thing. And then based on the video, the software or the algorithm, it checks, okay, now this is the vehicle which is passing, its dimension is so and so. So it is a car, it is a truck. So it goes on segregating like that. So there your lot of work, it goes on reducing. But again, there is the possibility of error in the software as well, because no software is perfect or no count is perfect, because if there is an unusual type of vehicle or a new type of vehicle which is not updated in the software, so it will give a question mark whether to count it in a bus or in a car. Okay. But surely you will reduce your workload to a considerable amount by using the software. And the most sophisticated is this, the automatic traffic counter. Okay. Now this is a combination of, or it is not a work of a civil engineer to do this setup. You have special ENTC engineers or that kind of thing. They can come out with this traffic counters. Okay, it's basically a loop counter or a loop detector in which they have a patch which has sensors which is installed on the road itself, and then whenever a vehicle passes over that patch, then the sensors, they sense it, and then based on the dimension or the weight of the vehicle, they decide whether it's a car or two-wheeler or a four-wheeler or a truck. So if I compare these three methods, the first one, the manual count, is the most crude, more errors are there. The automatic traffic counter, the least error, but the cost is very high, obviously, because you are using sensors and they need to be calibrated and maintained properly and also changed. So manual count is this basically less, or economical side it is, or economy side it is costing less, but it is giving more error. On the other hand, automatic traffic counter, it is costing a lot, but it is giving us the least error. So you can go for, or most of them in India, they go for this videography survey. Even all the research work which goes on in the traffic engineering, in that mainly the videography survey is done, and then you analyze the data. Okay, so this is related to the how aspect. Then the use. Okay, itna sab tamjam karke you do all this thing, you invest money, and then where you use it. So you have a number of applications for traffic volume studies. So first of all, to decide the priority for improvement or upgradation of road. So if I tell you that, again, go back to the first unit and recall that numericals on saturation system. So there we are seeing that how will you decide in a road network that which road you will develop first, or you will undertake the repair work for which road first. So in deciding that, you need to have some data, and the main data that you need is this volume data or the flow data. Okay. So there is the use of your volume studies. Then obviously the geometric design or the redesign of roadway facilities, as in whether you have to construct a two-lane road, what should be the design speed for it. Okay, so this all will depend what is the actual traffic volume, and if you have to redesign it, that now you know what is the volume by capacity ratio. So if the volume by capacity ratio is approaching 1, so how you will know that it is approaching 1? By finding out that volume. And how you will know the volume? By doing this traffic volume studies. So that in turn will tell you whether there is a need for extra lane or not. Then the most important thing and the most neglecting thing in India, that is traffic projections. Okay. So now you have understood this much of engineering till now, that whatever is the data that you count, you don't design it for that data itself. Okay. The most best example that you have studied water supply engineering or environmental engineering 1, in which you had designed water supply system for a specific population, and you never take the population which is the existing one. You always project it to some higher value, maybe in the next 10 years or next 20 years, what will be the increase in population. So in same way, what we do in traffic volume studies is we find out the actual base traffic. Suppose I have done the study today, so it's giving me the traffic of year 2020, but I will not design it for 2020. I'll project it for suppose 15 years ahead. So I'll design it for the traffic which is expected in year 2035. Okay, so for that you need to project that traffic, and for projections you need the base value, and that base value will come from this traffic volume studies. Okay. Then for planning different traffic operations and regulations, you need the volume. For designing the pavement again and overlay, you need the volume. Again, this we'll see in detail in unit number 5. And for design of intersections, you also need a traffic volume study. Now, this particularly what you need is a TMS study. TMS is nothing but turning movement survey. So you need to specifically find out the intersection, or if you have to design this intersection, develop it. So you need to specifically deploy people or do such a videography survey that it will cover all the movements, whatever are there in this intersection. So this, if we consider it's a two-way traffic on all the 4 roads, so for a single road you'll have 3 movements, one turning left, one turning right, and one going straight. So like this 3 movements for all the 4 roads, so they will make up to 12 movements. So you have to count all the 12 movements, and you have to again classify them as well. Okay. So left turning vehicle maybe, how much is the two-wheeler, how much is the car, how much is the truck. So everything you have to classify it. There is always a classified traffic volume count that you need to do whenever you have to do a volume study. Okay. So this is about the traffic volume studies. If I just show you some glimpses of what traffic volume study, or what we'll do is I'll show you first the format for which or in which this traffic volume study is done. So this is the format. I hope it's visible. So it's an Excel file. Okay. Now ignore the title, it's of a different project, but the same format we had used for that Satna Shankargarh road. So the first things, obviously the location, name of the road, and important thing, the day and date, because you are doing this survey for 7 days and 24 hours. So you'll need that. And then if you see, the categories of vehicles are given. And if I just count it, there are 18 number of categories, 18. Okay. So it's not like you can just count two-wheeler, cars, trucks, and ho gaya. The category is so diverse or so detailed because you need that particular data for some aspect of your highway design. As in, if you see the broad classification, I have classified it in 3 types: passenger traffic, okay, the passenger traffic, the goods traffic, and the non-motorized traffic. Okay, so in non-motorized, you have cycle, cycle rickshaw, animal drawn, hand drawn. Okay, so we are in India, so still we have to consider these aspects as well, because maybe cycle rickshaw you don't see in Maharashtra, but in northern part of India, cycle rickshaws and animal drawn vehicles are still in use, or even hand drawn cycles are there. In goods traffic, if you see, you have all these categories, that is LCV goods. If I start from this, LCV goods, 2-axle truck, 3-axle truck, multi-axles, in that also you have category tractors, tractor trailers. And in passenger traffic, you have two-wheeler, three-wheeler car, then you have utility vehicle, as in a jeep or a van, which is quite a bigger size than your car, then a minibus, bus. You have something called LCV. Now I don't know how many of you know this term LCV, but LCV is light commercial vehicle. Okay, so light commercial vehicle is nothing but, as per Indian standards, any vehicle which is having some weight above, or its gross vehicle weight is 3 tons or above, so it is termed as a commercial vehicle, CV. And then in that, a lighter category, maybe 1 ton or 2 ton category, that is termed as a LCV, okay, light commercial vehicles. And if you see on in this column, so I have mentioned time period, and there is something written 0 to 15. Now what is to be done is, you can't just have a single sheet for one complete hour, because then again it will lead to some errors. So what we do is, we divide one complete hour into 15-minute segment, and the enumerator or whoever is counting the vehicles, he or she has to count the vehicles in 15 minutes interval. So in 15 minutes, how many two-wheeler? Suppose I start this survey at 9 a.m. So 9 to 9:15, I'll count how much are the two-wheelers, how much are the three-wheelers, and all the 18 categories. So maybe one person might not be able to count all the 18 categories. So what you do is, you divide it into broad classification. You suppose deploy two people. One person will count only the passenger vehicles, and one person will count only the goods and the non-motorized, because now that will depend, or that will be decision of the surveyor. Okay, suppose you are the surveyor and you are in charge of that, so you will decide, looking at the traffic, that okay, there are a decent number of passenger traffic, there is less number of goods traffic and less number of motorized non-motorized traffic, so we will deploy one people for both of them. Okay, so it's completely a side-based decision, and then like this you will count it for every 15-minute interval. The next is 9:15 to 9:30, and 9:30 to 9:45, and the last one is 9:45 to 10. Okay. And then at the end you will have the total, obviously, and you will also have subtotal. So that will help you understand what is the variation. Okay. Now this is the blank sheet. I'll show you one data which was collected for one of the locations. Suppose this first location. So CTVC was done for 7 days and 24 hours continuously. Okay. Yeah. So this is the actual count that I am showing you on the screen. I'll just. Okay. So if you see the name of the road, Satna Shankargarh, the direction. Now it was a two-way highway, so you had to count the up direction as well as the down direction. So it's up to you what to decide, up which is the up and which is the down, but the same thing you have to follow everywhere. Then the location of the count. So we had done this count at chain age 8 plus 100. Then the date and day, and then this is the same format that I had showed you. And now just what we have done is, while analyzing, you need not have that 15 minutes data. You can just club the 1 hour data. So from 0 midnight to again 12 midnight the next day, you have 24-hour data, and this is for up direction. The same table is there for down direction, but the values are different, obviously, because the count is different on the other side. And then you have total. Okay, I have done the total of both, and then that is written here. And if you see the tabs below, so I have written day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So for each day you have these sheets, and then you have a summary of all the data. Okay. And in summary also, if I just show you this. Okay, so this is the variation of ADT in a day, that average daily traffic in a particular day. Hourly, how is the variation? So if you look into, when you start 12 midnight, so there is some vehicles, a decent number of vehicles, 300 vehicles, okay, per hour in both the directions. Okay, this traffic is for both the directions, and then it goes on reducing up to 4 a.m. in the morning, and then again it picks up the volume. Then there is a high peak in here at around 9 to 11 a.m. So you all know this is also the peak hours for office and business hours. So that's why you get a traffic over here. And if you see, this peak is somewhat a broad peak. Okay, it is what you can say, distributed between 8 a.m. in the morning till the 12 noon. Okay, and then there is a drop in between here, which is the slack period between 2 p.m. in the afternoon to say 5 p.m. And then again in the evening from 5 p.m. you have a peak, but now this peak, it is more of a concentrated, okay? Because while returning, everybody or most of them, they leave at the same time. So that's why you get a sharp peak. So from this graph itself, you can interpret a lot of things. Okay. So maybe if the graph is some other way of, or if there is no peak or if there is a decrease somewhere, so you can interpret like that also. And the salient features are just shown here, if you see. So 78% of the traffic, it was motorized passenger traffic, 19% was goods traffic, and 2% was non-motorized. And if you see, I have converted this into PCU as well, the P car traffic. So you now know what is a PCU. And then you see this table, it is saying that what is the tollable traffic. Tollable as in, now this was a highway, we were designing it, and then it was supposed to end up in a BOT proposal, and then there was a toll which was supposed to be collected. So that also you have to take care of at the survey point itself, that you need to segregate that data as well, that if there is a toll, so how many vehicles we are expecting for a toll purpose. Okay, so this was the count, almost 4,500 and above vehicles were there, tollable ones. And this is the vehicle composition. Okay, that 42% two-wheelers, three-wheelers were 7%, and all this classification is there. So this is how you do this traffic volume count. All right. So coming back to our discussion, so I hope you have got the idea of how is the traffic volume study. And if I again just take a few minutes to show you the report of this. Yeah. So this is the traffic chapter of that project that I'm showing you. And what I want to show you is just the glimpses of the survey. So as I told you, we had done the survey, classified traffic volume count. So it was done at 4 locations for the first road, which was Satna to Shankargarh, and the second one in UP, we had done it on 3 locations, I guess. Okay. So you need to come up with this plan as well, that where you will exactly do this traffic survey. And this also, the decision itself, it you have to apply some thinking to it. It's not like randomly you'll select any location and you'll start doing the survey, but you have to understand the scenario, understand the road network. And if you see here in this, the blue color lines, those were the state highways. The orange color line, this one is the national highway in that area. And then the black color line, dark black color, that is our project road. Okay. So we had studied, or I had studied the road network around it, what are the major roads, and that I tried to show here. And then the survey was done on the project corridor itself, okay, at 4 locations, plus the survey was also done at 3 locations, which were on 3 roads, which were known as the influence corridor. Okay, so there is something called project corridor, and there is something called influence corridor. So project corridor is the road in which you are working and you are going to design it, but the traffic on that road, it is not solely dependent on the existing traffic coming. It is also dependent on the road network around. Okay. So if there is a national highway which is passing very closely to your road, so the case which we had seen here, so there was national highway passing. So it was necessary to do the survey on that national highway also. Okay, so that was also, or that was known as the influence corridor, and there also we did a CTVC, traffic volume count, but that we did only for 3 days because that was an influence corridor. So like this, we had identified 3 corridors, influence corridors, and there we had done the survey. Okay. So the stars that you see, red color stars, those are the CTVC locations. The green stars are the CTVC location for influence corridor. And then the yellow dots that you see, those are the OD survey. That is the next survey that we will discuss in this series. Okay. And if you see, yeah, this is the setup that we had done, that we had hired some people, as I told you, who can read and write fairly, and then they were made to sit at a side of a road and they were just counting. You see, they have that formats in their hand. Okay. So like this, the traffic volume count is done. So I'll stop here for today.